Terms, dealer price, list price, invoice. New or used, go to TrueCar.com. Could save $3,000 off MSRP. Jay Glazer's coming by today on our show. Joel Klatt at the Pro Day for Baker Mayfield. Robert Klemko, the Monday morning quarterback, all sorts of stuff. By the way, the Patriots are making moves. The Patriots have made an offer to A.J. McCarron, a very solid backup for Tom Brady. The word is they want Ndamukong Suh. They already picked up Danny Shelton on the interior line. They would not budge on Amendola's contract, out. Wouldn't give Dion Lewis the money he wanted, out. Nate Solder wouldn't move on it, out. They got outbid by the Giants, who are desperate at left tackle. So a lot of things happening. New England's got big losses. I will tell you, when I look at all this free agent stuff, some of it's overstated. Jimmy Graham goes to the Green Bay Packers. I like Jimmy Graham. He's not a blocking tight end, which doesn't help their running game. And he had the drops last year for Seattle. Now, he's been healthy the last couple of years, but health has kind of been a concern. He's now, 31, 32 years old. Do we have the Chris Carter bite? The great thing about Jimmy Graham is that, he's a red zone target. But Chris Carter talked about that this morning.
One thing I realized, because I know I got labeled as a red zone threat early in my career, and I wanted to get rid of that label because good offenses are only in the red zone 3 to 5 times. So 3 to 5 times during a game, I'm only going to be effective. So when you say Jimmy Graham is a red zone, to me, I say that's a detriment because you're only in the red zone but a limited amount of time. And if that is your number one skill, they're paying you too much money because that skill can't be utilized enough.
Yeah. And I've said this before. I like Graham, but he's a flawed, uneven. He doesn't block. He has a lot of drops. And I don't feel he's a game changer. I think a lot of these moves in free agency don't matter. I think some have had real impact, and some just sound amazing. And I'll put a board up. I think when the Rams went out and got Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib, that's a real impact. Because the only weakness on that team was the secondary. They have good line play, great coach, quarterback, running back, receiver. They had a hole. They solved the hole. They got the best corner in the league, and Aqib Talib's a playmaker. I think when the Eagles got Michael Bennett, you can't double-team him. You could double-team him sometimes in Seattle. You can't in Philadelphia. They've got, Ingram. They've got Fletcher Cox. They got a young player, had a very good season last year. So that's a move to me. Like that, the Eagles are already good up front. They added another disruptive pass rusher. That's a real move. And I think Dion Lewis, now the Titans have a new clever offensive coordinator. Dion Lewis is a nice player. He may not be as effective in Tennessee as he was in New England, but I've always thought he's a massively underrated player. So the Rams, the Eagles, and Tennessee, by the way, Lewis is going to be a nice impact player because they already have a good running back and they have a franchise quarterback. The real impact moves all go to teams that already have a lot. Okay, Muhammad Wilkerson sounds amazing, but he peaked 2 years ago. He doesn't get to the quarterback as much. It sounds great. Sammy Watkins to the Chiefs sounds big. He was the 8th or 9th most important offensive player for the Rams last year. Richard Sherman to the Niners sounds big. Listen, they're going to draft Denzel Ward with their first pick, a corner from Ohio State, and Richard Sherman isn't going to get over this injury till maybe September, October. Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, and a bunch of guys to the Browns. Jarvis Landry doesn't do anything if you don't have a quarterback to get him the football. If you draft Sam Darnold, that's going to matter. So I think on the right, the Watkins, the Sherman, the Muhammad Wilkerson, the Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, they sound amazing. Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, that makes a difference. Dion Lewis in Tennessee, I really like. Michael Bennett to the Eagles, that matters. And it should be noted, the Denver Broncos are one of the only teams ever that literally won a Super Bowl in free agency. It is always overrated. It's like first-round draft picks. If you can get Elway or Andrew Luck, by all means, great. Generally, my rule in the first round, trade down and get more second, third, and fourth-round picks. Malcolm Gladwell's done the homework on it. Everybody's now come full circle. First-round picks are overrated. Second, third, fourth are underrated. You get most of the same player for a third of the price. Denver got Peyton Manning, Aqib Talib, Jimmy Ward, Emmanuel Sanders, DeMarcus Ware in about a 2 or 3 year window, and they won a Super Bowl through free agency. Like they went out and just bought a defense. But that is incredibly incredibly rare. And I think Jimmy Graham for Green Bay is also, to be honest with you, a little bit overstated. Good to have you in. It was a very good night. I know nobody likes LeVar Ball. Again, nobody liked Howard Stern or Rush Limbaugh or Simon Cowell either. A lot of people like LeVar Ball. Don't kid yourself. Don't listen just to the media. Don't listen to the old established media. LeVar Ball walks into places and people cheer him. Everybody in my business thinks, oh, my God, nobody likes LeVar Ball. I read my Twitter. I see Instagram. A lot of people like LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball had a very good night last night. UCLA's basketball program lost to St. Bonaventure, which is quite an adventure to get to. I think it's somewhere in western New York. They hadn't won a tournament game since the 70s. UCLA was once the greatest program in America. There was a time we thought UCLA's college team could beat professional teams. This team was this program a mess before Lonzo. Great with Lonzo, he leaves. They're no good again. They lost to St. Bonaventure. Let me repeat that. Also last night, Lonzo Ball had the best plus-minus for the Lakers. Last 10 games, they're 8-2. By the way, the Lakers are a 500 team. In the 44-45 games, Lonzo Ball has played for him. I know a lot of you don't think he should get attention. But if LeBron or a Paul George join the Lakers, he may be in Lithuania. I guarantee you, last night, LeVar Ball was in a Lithuanian Motel 6, laughing his arse off. UCLA lost to St. Bonaventure, and his son, 8-2, last 10 games for the Lakers. Big night for LeVar Ball. He celebrated however they celebrate in small rooms in Lithuania. It's the